All right, in this section we're going to look at one more example involving the normal approximation to the binomial distribution. Suppose that 43% of registered voters agree with a particular government policy. A pollster randomly selects 2,500 registered voters and asks whether they agree with the policy. Let the random variable x be the number of voters in the sample expressing approval for the policy. Now, we looked at the following questions when we looked at this previously. What is the sample space of x? What is the probability distribution of x? What is the expected value of x? And what is the variance and standard deviation of x? And also, we looked at various probabilities. What is the probability that at least 1,100 voters in the sample express approval? And what is the probability that more than 1,125 express approval? So let's see here. So we looked at these, we calculated these probabilities exactly previously. Now what we're going to do this time is we're going to use the normal approximation to the binomial to approximate these probabilities, and then we'll assess the quality of these approximations by calculating the relative error of each. And so we know that x has a binomial distribution with n equal to 2,500 and p equal to 0.43. The mean of x, the expected value of x, or the mean of its distribution, is 1,075. That's given by n times p. The variance of x is n times p times 1 minus p, which in this case turns out to be 612.75. And the standard deviation of x is therefore the square root of that, so 24.7538. Now, previously we found from both the table values that were listed on the previous slide and also the TI-84, we found the exact probabilities that x is greater than or equal to 1,100. That probability to 5 decimal places is 0.16114. And the probability that x is strictly greater than 1,125 is equal to 0.02081. And so now what we want to do is we want to see if we can approximate these probabilities using an appropriate normal distribution. And that normal distribution will have the same mean and the same variance and standard deviation as this binomial distribution. And so we'll let y be a normally distributed random variable with mean equal to 1,075 and a variance equal to 612.75, so that its standard deviation is 24.7538. We're then going to approximate the probability that x is greater than or equal to 1,100 by this probability involving the normally distributed random variable. And notice that we are using the continuity correction factor here, and so we're going to approximate the desired probability by the probability that y is greater than or equal to 1,099.5. And once we standardize and get this in terms of z, we see that this probability here, okay, is equal to the probability that z, the standard normal random variable, is at least 0.99. And we can get that from the standard normal table or the TI-84, and to 5 decimal places that probability is 0.16109. So let's see how we did. The relative error is equal to the approximate value minus the true value divided by the true value times 100%. And so we see here that we did very, very well. The relative error of this approximation is 0.03% low. It's very, very close, okay? Negative 0.031%. So we're much, much less than even 1% error. So this is a great, great approximation. All right, let's look at the second probability that we wanted to approximate. This is the probability that x is strictly greater than 1,125. And we're going to use the continuity correction factor. In this case, that means that we're going to approximate the probability of interest by the probability that y is greater than 1,125.5. And again, always draw a picture on these, all right? It'll be easy to see, what you need to do, whether subtract 0.5 or add 0.5 to this number, all right, to get the correct continuity correction factor. We standardize everything inside the parentheses, all right? We get the probability statement in terms of the standard normal random variable z, And so we see that this probability is equal to the probability that the standard normal random variable is greater than 2.04. And again, we can get that from the standard normal table or from the TI-84. And that probability turns out to be 0.02068. Now the true value is 0.02081, so we see that we're very close. The relative error is bigger than the relative error in the last probability, but it's still very, very good. It's still less than 1%. All right, so the relative error in this case is negative 0.625%. And so that again is a very, very great approximation. So why are we doing so much better in this example than in the last example? Well, if we look at the underlying binomial distribution, I think that this really answers the question. I mean, that looks just like a normal curve. If we imagine superimposing a normal distribution with the same mean and variance as this binomial on top of that graph, you wouldn't be able to see a difference. And so the areas under that normal curve are going to be so close to the areas of the binomial distribution that we're looking for that we're going to get very, very good approximations. Another way to think about it is we said that the approximation would be adequate, would be good, if both n times p and n times 1 minus p are greater than 10. Well, in this case, n times p is it's over 1,000, 1,075, and n times 1 minus p is also very large. So that is another reason why we could conclude, without even really having gone through this, that the normal distribution would provide a very good approximation to probabilities from this underlying binomial distribution. So that wraps up these two examples of the normal approximation to the binomial distribution. These are applications of the central limit theorem, which again is one of the most important results in applied probability and statistics.